Nazis are good.
I was going to say really, but even really is a stretch, so no.
No.
Bad.
Bad. Nazis are bad, right?
No.
No.
Is that a hard no on that one?
Yes, that's a hard no on that one.
And back when Nazis were like Naziing, there were people who spoke up right away, there were people who were slow to speak up, and then there were people who never spoke up at all. Do you think it would have been better for more people to speak up sooner?
Yes.
It's hard to say, but if you are in a safe environment where you can speak up more loudly, I think you should.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the phrase is indifference is the path to fascism or something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way of characterizing it.
If I took you and I transported you back to that time right now, do you think you would be someone who spoke out? Or would you want to at least be someone who spoke out?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I have no choice.
I 100% would be speaking up because I think, you've got to value other people's lives as much as you value your own.
Probably, yeah.
I guess ideally, yeah, I would want to be more vocal in that scenario. Yeah.
In the same way, do you think if more people who were vegan either spoke up or got involved behind the scenes, do you think that would be better, that we would get to a vegan world more quickly?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Please do it.
Yeah, I think currently there's an issue where there are vegans who don't want to do activism, which I do find like relatively a little bit of an issue, not speaking up for what you believe in, or even just like downplaying what you're doing.
Yes, I think that's right. I think there are my view is that there are different ways to do that. So some of it is sort of the activism that draws attention to the slaughterhouse. Some of it is kind of making the positive case, like, oh, this is a healthy thing to do, and it's actually better for you, or this is better for the planet. Like I've got a very like holistic view of how we get people to be vegan. So I think being vocal about it, but finding different ways to be vocal to get people on board who come at it with different mindsets.
Majority of people saying, oh, I'm just vegan and don't say anything else. But I think if more people said, I'm vegan for animal rights issues, then I think there will be more like thoughts to it.
So do you do any sort of vegan activism?
Oh, a lot.
Okay.
Yes,
you
I
good?
do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I am an activist, absolutely. And I'm also going to become an organiser for York, for We the
Amazing.
Free.
So vegan a year and you're already getting active and you're already becoming an organizer.
Yeah.
So I haven't done as much here lately. I don't know how to speak, and I'm very nervous when I'm speaking to others about veganism, because if I go wrong, they might have a different attitude towards veganism, and that scares me kind of, because I don't want to ruin that image.
I could do better in that department, I'm not going to lie.
I'm a software developer. I do a lot of Discord activism. I'm on one of the biggest Discord servers called Vegan World, and we...
Oh, yeah, I think I'm in that one.
Yeah.
As in, I'm not like overly vocal. I'm just quite a quiet person, so I tend not to. I mean, I try and win over friends by cooking vegan for them and kind of introducing them to vegan places. So it's a more of a gentle activism, but I have a complete admiration for those that actually go out there and fight the good fight, as it were.
I do various forms of activism, and I think that everybody should try whatever they can. I teach in schools because I am a teacher. I work for plant-based councils, so trying to get through politics.
Oh wow, you're like super active.
So I can't think. Vegan dog food.
Actually, not so much. Amongst my friends and family, yes. At work, yes. But in the community, no. That's why I'm glad I've come here. This is the first time I've ever been to anything like this, and I've been vegan for, it'll be 5 years this year. But you do feel a little bit alone if you're surrounded by friends and family that firstly think you're crazy for making that decision, and when you're constantly trying to make people understand why that decision has been made and why you really feel so passionately about it, and they still think you're crazy. And if you don't have any vegan friends or community around you, then you're sort of just a solo activist, and actually maybe I should seek out some more people. Yeah.
What do you think would be holding you back? Like, what's like your biggest hurdle?
It's a good question. I mean, some of it is just kind of a hesitation born out of, I don't know, maybe some sort of fear or anxiety. It's hard to really place it. Some of it is, I wish I could sort of feel more confident in doing it. I mean, I work a professional job. I've been approached about sort of environmental activism and doing more kind of in-your-face stuff, and I've always been a bit shy to do things like that, just because work, sort of combination of work and probably personal hesitation.
Some personal hesitation, some anxiety, maybe about like, is it kind of like maybe like that people won't like you or they'll give you shit, or like, is that where it's coming from?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a bit of all of that really, and any potential fallout, again, it's probably not going to happen. And I just think about like certain like activists for different causes who get legally implicated and things like that, and I'm just a bit like I can't really do that, but I know that's not the only form of protest, and I could do more, and I'm fully aware and cognizant of the fact that I should be doing better in that department. So
I don't know exactly how I will portray myself, and I don't know if I can, and I'm also scared of if someone asks me a question, I don't know the perfect answer to that.
What is the biggest hurdle? Maybe I'm a dentist, so I work under quite a strict set of professional regulations. Maybe it could be more risky for my job if I spoke out, not just speaking out, but the consequences, you have to accept the consequences of that. So, you've got to be prepared to take it all the way. You can't just go and be half-hearted, I don't think. So if you're going the whole way, and I'd have to think about what are the consequences for me. Am I going to take it all the way, and do I take those consequences, do I accept them? So do I get arrested, go to prison, blah, blah.
And what do you think, I guess, like, what do you think the biggest benefit to you of doing more activism would be? Like, what do you think you'd like about it?
I think obviously doing activism is great in general because it allows people to become veganism and think more about their choices and have second thoughts about what they're doing.
I feel like I'm making a change, which I think is really important. I have a niece. When she comes to stay with me, she's vegan. When she goes home, she's not. And she's the younger generation, and I'm constantly trying to teach her things, and I send her things on YouTube, Instagram all the time. Even like trying to get in a level of like the environment, just start off there. I'm trying to save the environment for you, and she's, she loves animals and things like that, and I just trying to make her understand like you can't say that and then do this, and trying to educate her. And I think if you can educate even more people, you'd feel so good that you're achieving something and something great for the world, really.
Well, I suppose it's rewarding if people see the what that activism is for, and actually it makes an impact and encourages people. I don't agree with this argument, but some people would say that it could sometimes discourage people. Maybe those people were inclined to be discouraged anyway, so maybe it's not as big a deal. But I know it would be rewarding to get people to think about their actions and think about the impacts of what they're doing. But I think that would be where I'd feel the best value in what I would do if I were to be more active in that scene.
So I actually kind of already think you are doing some activism. From what you're telling me, you kind of like alluded to it. I think you would actually like to like be with a group of really like-minded people, and it sounds like you do want to change the world, and you recognize the value of like having that group. So I would totally encourage you. These two right here, I didn't know them like 6 months ago.
Okay.
I lone wolfed it. Like I did what I'm doing now, but I just went out by myself, and I was getting depressed and burnout. And I joined a local group, and man, it has like worked wonders for my mental health.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So not only do I feel better, but I think like together, it's like a 2 + 2 = 5 situation. We can definitely do bigger things now.
More.
Yeah. And so like, I don't know if you know, there's groups around here. There's We the Free. There's Anonymous for the Voiceless. There are groups like, do you live in the UK?
I live near Cambridge.
Okay, yeah. There's those groups there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So you can get involved in that way. But also a lot of people just think, you said, like maybe the thing was like getting arrested, which I totally get. I'm a professional too.
Yeah.
So I work in the professional world. And so I'm a little cagey about this, even though I have a channel,
Yeah.
But yeah, like you can do stuff like that with like the really wild stuff, but you can also just go out and have like conversations with people. You can like put stickers on things. You can do sidewalk chalking. We do stuff all the way, like where we write messages on the sidewalk. Yeah. Or put like flyers up, things like that. So all the way from like sidewalk chalking, potlucks, all the way up to like, and we do like, they do foie gras protests where you're like yelling at people. So it doesn't have to be one thing. It can be whatever you want it to be.
It's a small building block.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that sound like interesting to you?
Yeah, it does.
Okay,
Made me feel better even you just saying that. So.
Okay, great.
Yeah, no, when you put it like that, it shows that there are multiple sides to it, and it's not just kind of being on the streets and kind of, being in people's faces, which again I'm not opposed to. I think that's a good thing. But it shows that there is actually a broader horizon to these things. So that's actually it's a good perspective on it. Yeah.
I think the other thing too is like because I felt nervous about doing activism also, like I kind of had that anxiety, and it's like I know what you mean, because it's like this sort of like general anxiety. It's like I don't know exactly what I'm like afraid of, but I'm afraid of something.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll tell you, the more you go out and do it, the more you realize that 80% of people, maybe 90%, are actually pretty friendly. Like they'll get a little defensive, but they're not going to be jerks to you. Okay. That's the minority of people. You see that online, but most people are actually pretty open if you're talking to them in like a respectful way.
Yeah, it's good to know people are receptive.
And I think that's the thing is like, really, like with my YouTube channel, I try to do show a lot more outreach where people are receptive and the conversations go well, because stuff, you know, like Joey Carbstrong or some of the big ones, it's like the ones they're showing are the worst ones.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
And I think that can scare people away from getting out and talking to people, because in your head you're like, oh, every interaction is going to be like a jerk.
Yeah.
But that's by far the minority, not the majority. So yeah.
Okay, that's reassuring.
Yeah.
I mean, I do watch, like, I know Earthling Ed does similar things, and his are good because they're very like civil and very rarely confrontational. No, you're right. Like there are multiple ways to do it, and like there are sort of good discourse to have with it. So yeah.
Yeah, let me give you something here. This is from We the Free.
Awesome.
So they're a group here.
Yeah, I have been seeing their stuff.
Yeah, definitely check them out. So like we said, like they're a big group where you can kind of get with a bunch of other people like-minded. Now they primarily do outreach where they're talking to people, but the outreach they do is like much gentler in many ways, and I think they have lots of good interactions. I would definitely check out their tent.
Cool, nice.
But again, like I said, like for some people that's the mountaintop,
sure.
the talking to people. But there are many other ways to do activism. So yeah,
that's good. No, that's reassuring to hear.
Do you have Instagram?
I do indeed, yes.
Okay. Add me on Instagram. I will shoot you a video that I did. It's called Every Type of Activism or something like that. And I just go through like 50 types of activism in 7 minutes. And you can take anything you want from that. It goes from as simple as possible to like as scary and crazy as possible. So wherever you want to come in, there's a spot for you.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's really reassuring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was very good talking
to
to you.
No, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And your name was Val?
Val, yeah.
Val?
And you're Justin.
Justin, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Let me try to allay some of your fears then, because it sounds like those are very common roadblocks and hurdles for people. They're afraid like, oh, I'm not going to have the perfect answer. I'm going to misrepresent veganism. I can tell just talking to you right now, you're not going to misrepresent veganism. I don't always have the perfect answers. I've been doing this a while and I still f up. I still mess things up. Being out there and just being a voice for the animals, unless you know absolutely nothing, it's going to be a net positive, man. If you don't think you're good yet, then you're never going to go out. The way you get good is by failing. So you have to fail a little bit if you want to raise your game. The fact that you're vegan so young and the fact that you've already done activism, and just, you seem very well spoken to me. Like, I think all the thoughts you just had were very eloquent, well put together, and even sort of more unique than some answers I've heard today. So I totally think you can do it. What do you think about that?
I think definitely. I think I need to be a little bit more confident in myself and just go out and just have a go.
Well, yeah. If I had a resource where you could like check out We the Free or something, would you be interested?
100%.
Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks so much. Yeah, this was great.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, that was it. Just a short interview.
Oh, cool. I thought you were going to grill me.
No,
I was waiting for the
you were
grill.
kind of on board, so yeah, you weren't arguing.
Maybe we should pick one of them then.
Are they?
How good are you at breaking people
They're
down?
vegetarians?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Do you want to see one of those?
Should I do like an actual one?
Yeah, legit.
And if you want to help me make this my full-time career, check out the Patreon in the description. And shout out to Ryan O'Neill, Tom Eisenbeiss, NetBase News, Monstar, David Yastrzemski, and Maxwell Edison.